Hey, what's going on, everyone? It is Scott Withers. I am here because I have a big shipment of Clash discs. As a lot of you know, at the start of the 2023 season, I decided to switch over to Clash. Very exciting opportunity for myself, but I've had a couple weeks with the discs now. I actually played a really big beat here yesterday in the pouring rain. It was pretty crazy conditions, but we were able to get a win by a few shots. I'm so excited to get the 2023 season started. I've got now a couple weeks of background on the Clash Discs molds. I wanted to share with you some of the stuff that I requested kind of as an allotment and give you some quick thoughts on them. And then I will be following up with some videos on my Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook on how they actually fly, like videos of that stuff. So find my social media accounts, Withers_disc golf for TikTok and Instagram, and then just my name for Facebook. So I'm going to show you guys what's in here. I have not opened any of these. I did not totally know what I requested. I just asked for a bunch of stuff that I thought I was going to throw. That way I can get the season started. So let's cut some strapping off of this thing and show you some discs. All right, box number one. These things are all taped together because they come from Finland. So, cut a little bit of that off and throw it down there. Pop this box open. And box number one looks like we kind of have an assortment of different things. Ooh, one of the molds that I carried immediately was the Ginger. These things to me are like FD3 or a Thunderbird or an Onyx, kind of whatever you throw in that like 9 to 10 speed overstable fairway driver. They immediately took the spot for me. They feel really good. The plastic feels good. If you have not felt Clash's plastic yet, the Steady plastic is the main like premium plastic that they're putting out. They feel incredible. So, 2 Gingers. I think I probably have more in here if I had to guess. One with the Nikko Locastro stamp on them. So this one's a little domier. I'm expecting it to be a little more overstable. But I know these were sweet. Another Nikko Locastro stamp one. I got a clear one, also with the Nikko stamp on it. That thing's pretty. That'll dye really well. Sorry, there's a quick in and out. Live right by some train tracks. Train went by, but like I was saying, clear Ginger. This one feels great. Plastic's a little bit soft. I really like this for the winter right now. It's been about 50 degrees or a little lower out in Oregon. I've been able to get my hand into it. They're stiff enough to throw, yet soft enough to actually get some grip into it. I asked for a bunch of Gingers. This one's got some sparkle in it. Also the Nikko signature. I don't know the weight on all of these, but I'll get a scale and kind of figure that out. Ooh, that one's pretty. Lots of sparkles in it. See-through kind of teal baby blue plastic. That one's gonna look good. And then the last one is about the same thing, but if you can see all of the glitter and all of the sparkles in it, this one's got a sticker that says 171, so a little lighter. It's kind of like the bottom weight of what I would throw, but anything over 170 I'll give it a go. So I'm gonna take these out at the field, test them out, and see what I can do with that stack of Gingers. All right, 2 putters that look like they're the same. Oh, that's kind of cool. First is a Glow Popcorn. I've got one of these already that came in some test discs. So straight, so easy to throw. Feels like maybe a little lower profile P2. So if you like throwing the P2, but it's just maybe a little deep for your hands. I'm not real good at throwing deep dish putters, so the Popcorn kind of fits a good spot in my hand to be able to throw. And they are dead straight, like point and shoot, make them go a little right, make them go a little left. Very easy disc to throw. And then the second Popcorn actually has the Whale Sack stamp on it, so that's kind of cool. A little different. Tina and Eric always down to support them. So a couple Popcorns to be able to throw. Oh, maybe one more Popcorn. One more Steady. It is the Nikko stamp on it also. 176 grams. They're a little bigger diameter putter, I would say. They feel really good for throwing. I'm still kind of learning the putting with them, but for throwing, super cool. I have 3 of the Steady Butter. So this is more of like the traditional maybe P2 or AVR mold. Pretty deep putter, honestly. Feels really good in my hand for like overstable putter shots. You throw them flat, they go left. So I got 3 of them here, including a Stockholm Disc Golf Open. Kind of cool tournament stamp on one. So these are overstable throwing putters where the popcorn is like dead straight. And then here is a disc that I think every beginning player should use, or every like low level power player should use, the Wild Honey. I would compare these probably to like a Hades or maybe a little less stable Shrike from Innova. They are pretty understable distance drivers that are easy to throw out and get a lot of distance to them. I throw a little too hard for these, so they do tend to go like more right than I would want, but I've given them to a couple buddies who throw in that like 300 to 375 range, and they're getting a lot of distance out of these Wild Honeys. So if you were looking for a new distance driver to try out, they feel really good in the hand. I've got 3 of them here. I might give one away kind of in a giveaway, or for like long distance rollers or something. For me, I might use 1 or 2 of them, but the Wild Honey is Clash's like understable 12 speed. Is 12.5 negative 2.2. I would say for me it's even a little less stable than that. So if you are someone in that like 325 to 350 foot power range, the Wild Honey might go a long way for you. And last in box 1, these are something that Eric Oakley designed, the Spice. I think that these are very similar kind of to the Ginger in the way they were flying. For me, I have the Ginger in the bag right now. I'm still working on learning the Spice. I've only been throwing Clash stuff for a couple weeks, so my bag will definitely change in and out, but these look really cool. The stamp suite on them. They are flat. I would say, knowing that Eric used to throw a Felon, I think that's kind of maybe the flight that these are. They are, you can forehand them, you can backhand them. They're not maybe quite as overstable as like a Firebird or a Raptor, but they can take the torque that you want to put on them to throw, like kind of flip up forehands with them, or like even flex backhands, because for backhands they will come back. So Spice is a pretty sweet mold, and they feel really good. I know that was something that Eric worked on them a lot with. All right, box number 2. Let's open it up, see what we got. First, we got a couple more, 2 more Spices. So they're the same as the other ones, but I'm gonna put those in the pile. We already talked about those. I see 1. I think there probably is more in here. I've got 172 Salt. So the Salt is Clash's like main distance driver, I would say, like for professional level or like advanced level players. It is, I would kind of compare it to maybe like a Zeus in terms of flight. It's not quite like that Force of Destroyers overstable, so it's really easy to get distance on. The numbers are 12.5, negative 1.3 on it. They do like to really hook back at the end, though, so even if you can get them out, and I can throw these things with probably 450 feet of power, and they're flying really well. If I try to really, really like hammer an Anheuser with them, they'll hold the whole time. If I throw them flat, they like to go glide a little right and then come back left. The Salt is a super sweet mold. This is Clash's main distance driver and one that's in my bag already. The Peach. Peach is an understable mid-range. So it is a 4-speed disc. It is slow, but it does get up and glide to the right. In terms of like comparison, I think, and I was talking to a couple buddies, I think it feels almost exactly like a Meteor from Discraft, and everyone knows there's a pretty popular mold. I think the Peach feels a lot like that, and the Flight is a lot like that. If I throw it out flat, it'll glide to the right. I'm still learning it and still working it into my bag a little, but the Peach feels really good in the plastic. This one's 174. If you like that kind of rounded rim, be able to throw it soft, get it glide to the right, kind of in the woods type disc, the Peach is something that I suggest trying out. Sorry, this box looks like it's a little out of order. I'm just trying to figure out what's in here. Oh, these look cool. Probably my favorite Clash disc so far, and a mold that I think is like a no-brainer to go try out, is the Berry. These ones are like kind of metallic. I can't tell if they're like brown or red or copper. They look really, really cool. The Berry is the most versatile mid-range other than the Buzz that I've ever thrown. It's a very similar thing to that disc. Rim feels good in the hand, maybe a little thicker than the Buzz rim in the hand, so I kind of have big fingers. It fits my hand really well. The ones that I have right now, I'm able to throw flat and they go straight. If I throw them on a little hyzer, they definitely want a hyzer. And if I throw them on a little anhyzer, they'll start right, glide for a while, and then like kind of flatten out at the end of the flight. So the Berry is a very useful like point and shoot mid-range. It's not understable and it's pretty torque resistant, but at the same time, it doesn't want to dump super hard to the left. Berry is a disc that I really, really like so far. What do we have here? I'm assuming this is a Pepper. Yeah, there's a couple more Peppers in here. So, got a couple more Peppers in here. Pepper is Clash's incredibly overstable. I'll call it distance driver, more of a utility disc. I think it lines up quite a bit to like maybe a Machete or like a Max from Innova or something. So this is one that if you like the plastic feel from Clash, which is pretty incredible, the Pepper is that like crazy overstable utility forehand or backhand spike hyzer type disc. Use it for utility shots or have a really, really big arm, headwinds, that kind of stuff, or this thing's gonna like just completely dump out on you. The Pepper is that utility style disc for like an 11 or 12 speed. And then utility style, crazy overstable mid-range. This thing is sweet. I haven't really tried to forehand them, but the Mango is a very overstable backhand mid-range that feels good in the hand. I think comparison-wise, the closest thing that I could find would be like a really stable Rock X3 or a Malta. It is a little bigger diameter, so it's like that kind of rock feel to it in terms of how big it is. It does not have a bead on it. I can throw these things on anhyzer and they definitely come out. If I throw them on hyzer, they basically want to go to the ground. If I throw them flat, they're moving left pretty quickly. So the Mango has a really cool feel to it. Feels a lot like the Peach, but the flight is so different. So Mango, crazy overstable driver. And then the Mint. No kind of question here what this is. This is the overstable, I say approach disc because that's basically what it is. Like it's that 4 to 5 speed. It's not a putter. It's not like a mid-range you're going to throw 330, 350 feet. It is the utility, sidearm, backhand. Every company's got one, whether it's kind of like the Justice or the Zone or the Gator. The Mint is probably the most like a zone or a tactic, I would say, in flight. It's not incredibly overstable, but it can take forehand, it can take backhand, so Mint is a really cool disc. And these are in the special blend ones that were released, I think, for some mystery boxes. They're a little stiffer. They feel really incredible. I actually like these in this stiff special blend plastic more than I did kind of the softer, steady plastic. And then the last ones in box number 2 are 3 sodas. The soda is the understable fairway driver. It's not like crazy flippy or anything. I'm still working it in. I don't really have it in my bag yet, but it's something that I'm going to get used to it as we get into some more wooded courses. It is pretty understable in terms of like, if I throw it flat, it wants to move right, but it doesn't really want to roll into the ground. So I think it's a disc that can be very useful for, again, that like, if your max distance is like 325 to 350, I think the soda is something that you're going to throw and it's going to go dead straight for a long time for you. I haven't really tried to throw it on rollers yet. It's been really wet in Oregon, so throwing rollers in the winter here is kind of hard. But 3 sodas, definitely look at one of these if you are in kind of that like that lower tier power range and you want a mid-range or a fairway driver that's a 7-speed that is going to go straight for you for a long time. I would say the best comparison I could give to this is maybe like a Leopard in terms of flight. So, all right, pushing the boxes out of the way, and let's look at the last one real quick. This box is the one I'm really excited for. We had a couple of things shoved in the other, so I'm going to get right to these. I requested a bunch of berries because I love these things. So we got some in some different colors here. I'm kind of assuming some different weights. Got pink, got like, I'll say baby pink. Some are a little more see-through. Yeah, these are sweet. I'm excited to get a bunch of these in my hands because I want a load of these to practice with and a load of them when I do lessons to have people throw, because I think it's that like dead point and shoot mid-range that we can work on form with people on. So there is a bunch of them in here, a lot of pinks, and then I got those two kind of goldish copper ones earlier, so I can't wait to get to a field with these, toss them around and see what the difference is between all of them. But like quickly, the berry was a mold that I put in my hand and I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna throw this a lot. So through wooded courses, mid-range shots that are like, I'm gonna say 350 and in, the berry's gonna get a lot of use. And perfect. These are, I'm gonna guess, all salts. A couple of them, at least one of them's got a tournament stamp on them. The rest of them all do not, but the salt, like we talked about earlier, is the main distance driver. Got a pink one, easy to find. Green one, a little more domey. I wonder if this one will be more overstable when I get it out to a field. A lot of these, when I talked to Randy, who works for Clash back in Finland, he said he handpicked a lot of these and kind of gave me a big variety in them so I could find what I really liked out of them. I know the white ones are crazy max distance ones, and then orange, I got one of these in my bag right now in that orange color. So the whites and the orange are pretty similar. And then we've got a tournament, I assume tournament stamp. I actually don't have a clue what that stamp is. So if you know what it is, in the comments of the video, let me know. Find the salts down there. And the last mold is definitely so far my most thrown mold. I've always been a huge fairway driver guy, and this one immediately popped right into the bag. I love the stability. I love how hard I can throw it and know that it's going to go straight and then dump left at the end. I've even got a couple of them that like almost move left straight out of my hand, but at the same time, they're not like a Firebird. They don't dump super, super fast. So they are the Cookie. Got the Glow Cookie. Obviously, everyone loves Glow Plastic. Pretty sweet stamp on them. And then, got a tournament stamp cookie. These kind of like, I'll say peachish white color ones are the ones that are in my bag right now. They're the most overstable ones that I had found. They're the ones that I can like. Hole 18 yesterday at the San Am Open that I was playing is about 350. We were thrown into a little bit of like a left to right wind. It's probably blowing 15 miles an hour. And I had OB just left of the basket. I knew that with this cookie or one like this, it's in my bag right now, I could hang it out right and it was going to move left the whole time. It was a very predictable flight. Had no issues with it and threw it like 15 feet to wrap up the tournament. A couple yellow ones. These are a little softer, I would say. So I'm anticipating them going a little straighter. When I say softer, they're not soft. They're not like G-Star plastic or ESP Flex plastic from Discraft or anything. They're still stiff enough. They're just a little on the softer side for like that premium plastic, which in the wintertime has been incredible. And then I got three more, two with tournament stamps, and this is like the exact one that's in my bag basically right now. Throw it as hard as I want. It's just going to go left. They feel good in the hand. I would say the closest comparison in the hand, which is a disc that I don't know if a ton of people throw, but to me it feels like the Prodigy F5. It's a little rounded through here and it's a little rounded on the bottom, so it just fits so comfortably into the way I grip a disc. And it took me a couple throws to be like, these are really that overstable. Like I kept wanting to try to throw them on hyzer flips and get them to come up and ride right, but that's not what they do. You throw them flat and they're going to go straight for a little bit and then they're really going to dump left. If you have a little less arm speed, these are going to be a very overstable fairway driver for you. Definitely in that like T-Bird type flight, but I don't have to worry about these going right at all. So the Cookie is probably I said the Cookie and the Berry are my two favorite Clash molds so far. There's a lot of others like the Ginger that is in my bag, and I'm like the Salt that's in my bag that I am still learning a little bit. And then there's obviously molds that we talked about just a little bit ago that I need to get to the field and throw them more. So I got a lot of sweet discs here, and I can't wait to get out and toss them around. Got one more yellow cookie in there, but that is a bunch of discs that I requested because I'm going to be taking them to the field, using them. I'm throwing in tournaments now, already 2 weeks in. So I want to give a huge thanks to Clash for picking me up for the year, for being, interested in partnering together. And you will be seeing a lot of Clash discs come to the Northwest here pretty soon. I'm going to get these into the hands of new players. We're going to put a test bag together that I'm going to have with me at all tournaments and stuff. So if you ever want at lunchtime to go grab some of the molds and take them out and throw them, and you see me at a tournament, don't hesitate to come up and ask. You can grab the bag, throw them, and we are going to let you guys learn about some Clash discs. So Clash Discs, a new company, been around for about a year, and now they're making a big splash in the US. So thanks, Clash, and I will catch you guys soon.